And clearly, there's no doubt in my mind, cryptocurrency is going to replace traditional finance, TradFi, and it's happening so fast. I mean, cryptocurrency is literally outpacing, the growth of the internet, in the 90s, Charles. And I've never been so clear about something. I've never been able to see something so clearly in my life, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of this.
Last time I was on, we were talking about the decoupling of Bitcoin with tech stocks and its outperformance relative to gold. Mm-hmm. Now we've seen year to date gold doing really well, up 46% or so. Bitcoin doing well, up about 21%. Ethereum up about 25%. So it's decoupled in the opposite direction. But push back year on year, gold's up about 44%. Bitcoin's up 75%. Ethereum's up 58%. And even if you look at something like the Coin 50 index, a basket of crypto, that's up about 72% year on year. Now, if you go back 3, 5, 7 years, there's no question which is the better asset to own. But here's the rub. Here's the crazy part. You don't have to choose, right? This isn't a who's the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron conversation. Bitcoin has characteristics gold doesn't. It's programmable. It's digital. It's infinitely scalable in terms of movement. Easy to move. You don't have to lug gold across borders.
Right, in short.
And most importantly, I would argue it produces yield, where gold has a negative cost of carry. So if you're one of the people who are genuinely concerned that global money supply grows like 7-8% a year, and that's excessive, if you believe that's excessive and that's causing inflation, then you need assets that will beat that. A couple $1 trillion was sitting in money markets because at 5%, 4.5%, 5.5%, that's nice. You're getting close to beating your target inflation rate.
Yeah.
As rates tick down, that unlocks those assets. Now, all of it's not flowing into assets like Bitcoin, but a portion will. That's what makes us bullish.
Well, the Democrats want to shut it down, so when you shut it down, you have to do layoffs. So we'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they're going to be Democrats. As you know, this country, no country can afford to pay for illegal immigration, health care for everybody that comes into the country, and that's what they're insisting. And obviously, I have an obligation to not accept that. That would affect everybody. When I see what we're doing with AI and all the plants that are opening up in the country, $17 trillion is coming. And if you compare that to Biden had in 4 years, less than $1 trillion. We have 17 trillion, more than that. I think it's going to be much more than that, David, by the end of this year. I think it's going to be far over that. It's a record. It's already a record in 8 months. It's a record by a lot. And so we're doing well as a country, so the last thing we want to do is shut it down. But a lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things, but they want open borders. They want men playing in women's sports. They want transgender for everybody. They never stop. They don't learn. We won an election in a landslide. They just don't learn. So we have no choice. I have to do that for the country.
Well, at this point, Congress is hurtling towards the first real government shutdown that we've seen since the 2018-2019 one.
But how much will any of this truly impact your portfolio? If history's any guide, not that much. Just because the story makes you feel bad about the government or the country as a whole, that doesn't mean it matters to the stock market. On Friday morning, analysts at Bank of America published a review of the last 6 government shutdowns dating back to 1990. And what they found is that 4 out of 6 times stocks actually went up from 1 week before the shutdown to 1 week after. The S&P 500 hasn't really been hurt by this stuff since the Clinton administration.
Mean for the all-important jobs report that investors will be focused on Friday, because if there is a shutdown, even if it is temporary and it lasts just a couple of days, does it screw things up so much that we don't get the jobs report at 8:30 a.m.?
This is the interesting dynamic. So the government doesn't shut down until tonight at midnight. The employees are all working at BLS, at the Department of Labor. The data has been collected. All we need to do effectively is hit send on that employment report at 8:30 a.m. on Friday. So it's all there. That means that this is an active choice from the administration to suspend activities. Everybody except the commissioner is going to be furloughed. And under furlough, they're legally not allowed to work. So the data will be there. It will be compiled, but they will not hit send on that information. And that is the base case expectation of staff on Capitol Hill, is that we will not see the Friday jobs report. A direct quote from some staffers that I spoke with last night basically said they've normalized the idea that the BLS data is not going to be reported, so we should not anticipate that data set on Friday. And the reason I lay it out like that is because as we get deeper into the shutdown, the people who are collecting the data and compiling it will not be working.
And also, those not only those 750,000 furloughed workers, but this is actually quite important. There's about 600,000 additional workers who will have to show up to work, but also won't get paid. So we are looking at kind of the range of 1.3 million folks who will not get paid. Now, do they get back pay? Yes, they do. But it
still hurts when they're not getting paid.
It still hurts. And a short-term shutdown, as I think everybody understands, really is not a macro event. It does not tend to be a market event. But should this be prolonged, there could be some non-linear effects. So the longer it goes, the more it hurts consumption, the more it could hurt.
By the way,
welcome to the Crypto Teacher.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Eric Trump telling the truth, but also sticking to the talking points. Cryptocurrency is going to replace the traditional system. And he's not telling us nothing new that's been here in crypto forever. But the fact is, he's telling the sheep. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And that means they're ready to flip that switch. And we have Coinbase's John on Bitcoin and Go. Remember, guys, Bitcoin was a narrative that they needed to get rid of fiat and go to digital currencies. It is a master plan. And then also, of course, the next step is to tokenize this whole economy and then allow these AI agents, robots, algorithms, and drones to take over the economy while the sheep sit at home getting free money. But we know there's no such thing as free money, but we've seen the people react during the C word, and these people have paid back that money 100 times fold due to inflation. If you allow the government to feed you, they're definitely going to starve you. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Trump on the Democrats want to shut down the government. Guys, we know this is nothing but the Hegelian dialectic. We know they got to get rid of a lot of people, not just in the federal government, but also globally. But what the sheep don't understand, we're all connected. You may see someone getting laid off, and you may think it's not affecting you because you're working, you're getting paid, but eventually it trickles down. I've seen plenty of companies close up, and then everything around it closed down. I've seen it happen plenty of times. I'm an old man. I've seen this movie too many times. We have to look out for each other and then also educate yourself. I know it's fun living in the world, but guys, we can clearly see things are changing. You're going to have to buckle down and get back to the creator, so therefore you can start creating. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And that's one reason you need to join the Patreons. Tell your friends and family to join the Patreon, so therefore they can wake up and start getting in motion right along with you. If they don't decide to wake up, guys, you know you have to keep it moving. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And guys, when was the last time that we had a shutdown? That's right, Trump was in office. You're exactly right. And don't forget, we had already passed a $4 trillion bill helping out the rich. You know, we know we've seen that movie before. And we have Jim Cramer says a shutdown won't affect the markets. And guys, we know for a fact that is definitely not true. And the reason why that is because we're headed towards the holidays. A few days won't be a big deal, but if it goes beyond that, we know it's going to be an issue. But remember, guys, this is planned. If we do shut down, only thing they're doing is updating the financial system to get us put on blockchain. And if we shut down, we know 2026 or 2028, we're off to the races for the fourth industrial revolution. That means we're right on the timeline. and no jobs numbers on Friday if the government shuts down, even though those numbers should already be in the system. Now we have 1.3 million people won't get paid. And we know people are already living paycheck to paycheck. But 1.3 million. Yes, you heard that correct. And we know, yes, they get paid back. But again, this depends on how long this is going to take place. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then we have Trump bringing in Pfizer. Yes, guys, you heard that correct. So those who believed in Trump, first with Netanyahu, now with Pfizer, you should clearly see whose side that Trump is on. If you have the NWO book, you've been known a long time ago. But those who are new to the channel and love Trump, this should clearly open your eyes. And we know Pfizer's job is to push transhumanism, where you have man, half machine. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then, of course, guys, once we get moved over to this digital economy, that dollar is going to have a slow leak. Remember, it's the fall of the United States world reserve currency. Trump's job is to devalue the dollar, so therefore he can devalue this debt. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. His job is to get us over to this level playing field for this fourth industrial revolution. And speaking of the fourth industrial revolution, again, we have CoreWeave with another deal. $14 billion deal with Meta. And again, I can't say this enough. All these corporations are coming together. There is no competition. They're coming together to move this digital economy forward. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows, when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
I'm curious, where are the other companies other than Pfizer? Are you expecting them to come later?
They're all with us. And I was honored to have Albert be the first. He's done a fantastic job with, as you know, with the COVID. He did a fantastic job with a lot of things. He's a leader, and Pfizer is right at the top. You know, it's there. Eli Lilly has been fantastic also, your friend, my friend. And they're all coming in over the next week. We're making deals with all of them. And
FDA approved the first electronic pill, if I can call it like that. It is basically biological chip that it is in the tablet. And once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliance. The insurance companies to know that the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is fascinating what happens in this field.
Which means that the underlying trends continue, because we generally get a not only kind of a delay of some data, but we get, you know, suspicion of the data that we do get. So that would mean positive for equities, probably a little bit negative for bonds, which counteracts the positive for equities. So therefore, they're kind of, you know, volatile but go nowhere. You keep the same trends. The one thing it probably does help, though, is dollar weakness. Now, it's interesting here in this context that last week we expected a dollar bid at the end of the week in terms of month-end corporate rebalancing flow. FX is a T+2 market, so the main day for that buying was going into the Friday fixes. We saw that flow go into last week, and immediately then the dollar weakened again this week, which shows the underlying bias there is still to slowly reduce those long-term exposures to the dollar, and I think that is the path of least resistance, is a slightly weaker dollar over the coming days and weeks.
Mark, do you think there's a risk to markets?
CoreWeave is basically a company that takes all these GPUs and rents it out to people for whatever they want to use. So they do get the dips on the most latest equipment that is sold by NVIDIA, and then the clients can. And now I did show that Meta is buying directly from NVIDIA as well, but in this case, they're just going and outsourcing the entire infrastructure for an amount of $14 billion, which, you know, may be a very small piece of Meta's overall capex for AI infrastructure, but it's still a start that they are now leasing capacity rather than building it in-house.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're going to get more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.